the partial sum of the arithmetic sequence. For the arithmetic sequence given by a sub n equal a plus d times n minus 1, the nth partial sum of 4 is given by the formula n divided by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. And we can shorten that up as s sub n equal n times a plus a sub n plus 2 if we are given the two term and not the difference. So let's take a look at the example. Find the partial sum for the arithmetic sequence given a equal 5, a equal 3, d equal 5, and n equal 20. Okay, then this means s n is equal to 20 divided by 2 times 2 times 3 plus 20 minus 1 times d is 5. And this is s sub 30. Gives me s sub 20. That is 10 times 6 plus 19 times 5. 19 times 5 is 65. Excuse me, 95. So 10 times so that is the partial sum of the first 20 term. Let's say we are given a sub 2, a sub 5, and n equal 15. Well, then s sub 15 is given by the formula 15 times a plus a sub 15 divided by 2. Well, these are the things that we need to figure out. But we don't know, we are not given a and we are not given a sub 15. But we're given a sub 2 and a sub 5. Let's see if we can figure out a and a sub 15 and go from there. So let's start with a sub 2. We know a sub 2 is equal to a plus d times 2 minus 1. And that is a plus d equal 8. A sub 5 is equal to a plus d times 5 minus 1. So a plus d times 4, that equal to 9.5. After that, here we have two equations of two unknown. I can figure out a with not much of issue, a and d with not much of issue. So let's rewrite this together as a system of equation. A plus d equal 8. A plus 4d equal 9.5. We solve the system by elimination. First, we multiply the first equation by negative 1. Add this together. So 3d is equal to 1.5. D equal to 0.5. This telling us A is equal to 7.5. Now that I have A, I have D, I can solve for the partial sum of the first 15 term equal to 15 divided by 2 times a 2a. So 2a is 2 times 7.5 plus, and what is our formula? Plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so plus 15 minus 1 times 0.5. And let's calculate this out to see what we get. And we get this equal to 165. Let's take a look at the next problem. So here we are given a sequence. And here note that here we got a and I don't know what a sub n here. Okay, so we need to figure out what is the 30 term. What is the number of term is at 30. So note that here we know a equal -3. And d is equal to 3/2. Okay, so this look like a sub n is equal to -3 plus 3/2 times n minus 1. So let's figure out what will be 30, what n will be. So 30 equal -3 plus 3/2 times n minus 1. So then n equal, so n here equal to 23. This means what we want to do is to find the partial sum of the first 23 term. So S of n is equal to 23 times -3 plus 30 divided by 2. 23 times 27 divided by 2. So the sum of the first 23 term is 310.5. Now take a look at an application problem. Telephone pole are being stored in pile with 25 poles in the first layer, 24 in second, and so on. If there are 12 layers, how many telephone poles does this pile contain? So this telling us that, okay, we are given a equal to 25, a sub 1 equal to 25. A sub 2 equal to 24. Well, this meant that d is equal 1. So each time you subtract 1, d equal -1. And there are 12 layers. So n equal 12. So the question is, what is the total telephone pole does it contain? So we find the partial sum, the first 12 term of the sequence. So that equal to 12 divided by 2. And that is 6 times 50 plus minus 11. And that is 230 poles in that pile total. Let's say here we have an architect design a theater with 15 seats in the first row, 18 in the second, 21 in the third, and so on. Okay, so this telling us, well, A is equal to 15 and D equal 3. If the theater is to have seating capacity of 870, how many rows must the architect use in this design? Okay, so the question is given us that S of n is equal to 870. And what is n in this case? Okay, so let's put this into our equation, into an equation that we know how to solve. We know that S of n equal n divided by 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so we have S of n, a70, equal to n divided by 2 times 2a, that's 30, n minus 1 plus d. So that is n minus 1 times 3. And we will solve this equation for n. Solve this equation, we get n equal to 20 and n equal to negative 29. And since the number of seats cannot be negative, this telling us that the number of rows in the theater is equal to 20 rows.